Good day everybody. So I will be here to discuss the introduction to human behavior in organization. And one of the contexts of this discussion is understanding people at work. So in this course, you will be able to understand how employees, how people act inside the institution, whatever the culture of the company is, na pag-aaralan natin, bakit kaya ganon yung mga inaakto ng mga tao sa loob ng trabaho, and ano yung mga bagay na nakakapag-influence on how they act as an employee. To begin with our discussion, so let's first define what is organizational behavior. So according to the material, organizational behavior is the study of how people behave individually and in groups within an organization. It draws from disciplines such as psychology, sociology, and management to understand workplace dynamics. So sa madaling salita, if you are dealing with this course, organizational behavior is the study on how all of the employees act, how the people behave individually and also in a group within the workplace. Whatever the actions, the responses of the employees towards something about the decision making or the things happening inside the institution or in the company. So the way they acted, the way they react is, or the study on how they react and the study on how they will act inside the organization is known as organizational behavior. And all of those things were a very much important thing to discuss because as business administration students with the major of human resource management, it is important for all of you to understand that some people acted differently from one another even if they belong to the same institution. And in this course, doon natin inaalam kung bakit nga ba iba-iba yung behaviors, yung attitude, yung personality na pinapakita ng bawat empleyado sa loob ng isang organisasyon. And sinasabi dito sa second description na those disciplines or those things, those concepts are took from the psychology, sociology, and management to understand workplace dynamics. Very wide range, kung pag-uusapan natin yung psychology, sociology, and also the management. And each institution have different management styles. Each institution have different employees which came from different places, which also came from different families, different environment, and dahil dun sa mga differences na meron na yun, yung mga bawat empleyado sa loob ng isang kumpanya, mainam na pag-aralan kung bakit ganun sila umakto base dun sa mga lugar na kung saan sila belong. So, those are the things or important things about organizational behavior. And the importance of studying organizational behavior, there are 4 importance. So first is it enhances workplace productivity and satisfaction. Now from the word productivity, it is essential for the businesses to be able to know if their employees really work hard for them to be able to achieve their goals and objectives as company. So malaki ang effect ng pakikisama ng isang empleyado sa isa pang empleyado para malaman nila kung productive ba yung work or yung what do you call this, the energy that they gave in working inside the organization. Kasi nakabase ang success ng isang negosyo sa kasipagan ng mga tao na nasa loob ng institusyon. So, kung pinag-aaralan nating maigi kung paano umakto yung mga tao sa loob ng organization, kung pag-aaralan natin maigi kung bakit ganun yung behavior nila, so it's better, no, for the businesses to understand where they came from para makita nila kung ano yung klaseng approach na pwede nilang gawin to somehow engage more the employees and to the employees to be more productive inside the workplace. So that is the first importance. Second thing is it promotes better communication and teamwork. So I know all of you are aware that inside the organization or inside a business, we do not work individually. No, commonly you work as departments, you work as teams, you work as one office, and understanding the behavior of the employees makes the communication better, and also it builds a good teamwork inside the organization. Third importance is it aids in conflict resolution and leadership development. So kung tayo or sa loob ng negosyo o sa loob ng institusyon ay mas kilala natin at mas alam natin at naaral natin kung paano umakto yung ating mga empleyado, alam natin yung klase ng approach na kaya nating ibigay kapag merong problemang dumarating. Like for example, you know that this specific group of people is a shy one. Alam mong tahimik lang sila, na you know na introverted sila, they work, yes, but they don't mingle that much, yung hindi sila nakikipag-usap masyado sila focus sa work. And kung nalaman mo na ganun yung personality nila, nalaman mo na ganun yung behavior nila, it's easy for you to understand and it's easy for you to resolve problems kasi alam mo yung approach na gagawin. So, as a boss or as a leader or as the manager of the group, you can talk to them privately kasi baka mas ganun yung nag-work sa kanila dahil nga sila ay mga tahimik lamang na tao. O kaya naman po pwede na mag-conference meeting kayo na kayo-kayo lang, na hindi kasama yung iba pang mga tao dahil alam mo na they talk to few people only at hindi naman sila sanay magsalita sa harap ng maraming tao. No? So, kung ikaw as a leader or as the head of the organization ay nauunawaan kung ano yung mga characteristics ng mga empleyado mo, mas madali mong magagawa ng solusyon yung mga problema na kinakaharap ninyo at mas madali din sa iyo makapag-apply no, ng iba't ibang klaseng leadership development na po pwedeng gawin dun sa mga empleyado. No, kung nakita mo na mahiyain sila, pwedeng mag-training ka into public speaking. O kaya kung nakita mo na, okay, may initin yung ulo nila. So, baka meron kang kailangan gawin na psychosocial activities. Baka may kailangan kang gawing recreational activities no, para maging better in a way yung moods ng iyong mga employees. No? Something like that. And lastly, in the importance of studying organizational behavior, it supports organizational change and innovation. So, just like what I've said earlier, the people is very much important inside the business. No, name it all. Lahat ng negosyo, importante ang tao dahil hindi magsasucceed ang negosyo kung walang mga empleyadong nagtatrabaho. And if you really do understand their behavior, if you understand how they act, how they work, how they behave inside the business or inside the company, it may somehow result to something good, positive change inside the organization. And also, it promotes innovation. Innovation in the sense na madami pwedeng magbago or maraming bagay na po pwedeng matuklasan pa na pwedeng gawin na ikabubuti ng negosyo kung yung mga tao mo or yung mga empleyado mo ay kakilala mo dahil pinag-aaralan mo yung kanilang pagkatao. So, that is the 4 importance of studying OB. Next thing is the goals of organizational behavior. So, hindi dapat natin pinag-aaralan lang para sa wala. Yung mga personality, yung mga behavior ng ating mga empleyado. Syempre, meron yung importance or meron tayong gustong ma-achieve in the long run kung bakit natin inaaral no, yung kanilang personalities and attitudes, behaviors, etc. Now, so first goal is it predict human behavior in the workplace. It's easy for them to know how they will mingle to their employees because they learn how they act. So, yun yung una. Pangalawa ay they understand group and individual dynamics. So, once again, in an organization, some of them or some of the employees wanted to work alone. And there's nothing wrong about it. But there are some instances that they must learn how to work in a team. So, hindi kasi pa pwedeng magaling ka lang mag-isa, tapos kapag may kasama ka ng iba na mga kasamahan mo, eh hindi mo na kayang maging maayos na empleyado. So, as institution or as company, they should know when they will allow individual work and when they will allow to have a group work. So, importante yun na malaman kung paano mo pagtatrabahuhin mag-isa at pagtatrabahuhin sa isang grupo ang isang empleyado base sa pag-aaral sa behavior na meron siya sa loob ng organization. And third one is, it improve organizational performance and culture. Next is the foundation of individual behavior. So, once again, mga anak, these things that I am discussing is just an introductory. I just wanted to give you the whole gist or the umbrella of this course para mas maintindihan nyo kung ano ba yung mga flow of topics na mapapag-usapan natin dito sa course na ito or sa subject na ito. Ayan, for the foundation of individual behavior, there are 4 foundations of individual behavior. So, ibig sabihin may 4 daw na pundasyon kung paano umakto ang isang tao. Una daw dyan ay yung personality, pangalawa ay attitude, pangatlo ay perception, pang-apat ay values. So, sa personality, the unique traits influencing behavior. Personality and attitude is different from one another. Yung personality, it is a long-term trait. Pangmahaba ang trait. Yung attitude is the short-term trait. Now, when we talk about personality, ito yung mas kilala ka ng tao na ganun ka in the long run. Yung mahabang panahon na nakilala ka ng ganun. Pag attitude naman, it somehow changes depending on the people, depending on who you are talking to, depending on the events or the objects. So, sabi dito sa personality, isa naman talaga yan sa pundasyon ng behavior ng tao. For example, Ma'am Shania is known for being a jolly girl. Nakilala ko ng mga tao na smiling girl ako lagi, na masayahin ako kasi since I was a child, I was known for being the clown of the group. Like for example lang, nakilala ko na ako yung laging nagbibigay ng jokes, nakilala ko na ako yung laging nagbabato ng mga funny moments or nagbabato ng mga funny things sa group namin sa work. So, nakilala ko na jolly girl ako because of that. Because in the long run, they saw me na ganun ako, na masayahin pala ako. Ang kinaibahan nun sa attitude can be perceived differently depending on the time. Mas maiksi. Pare, nalaman nila na jolly girl ako, pero may isang araw na bigla akong nagsungit. Diba sinasabihan nga natin, attitude to, sungit na ito. Di naman natin sinabi na, ay, personality na ito, pangit ito. Di naman, diba? Kasi yung attitude na term ay yung maiksi lang, and it can be positive and negative. Kagaya na sabi dito, positive or negative evaluation of people, events, or objects. Pag sinabi nating attitude, yun yung mga bagay na nire-represent natin or yung opinions natin towards sa isang bagay, sa isang tao o sa isang idea. And ang attitude din ay pwedeng matutunan or pwede nating makuha because of the experiences and somehow kung paano natin nakikita yung isang bagay. Like for example, Ngayon, hindi masyadong maganda yung gising mo. Tapos, umuulan na putikan yung sapatos mo. So, the attitude that you will give to people, dahil nga mainit ulo mo, naputi ka pa yung sapatos mo, puti yung sapatos mo, medyo mainit ang ulo mo. But, it doesn't mean na mainit ang ulo mo habang buhay. No? It's just a short-term trait. Pero, yung personality mo, yun yung kilala ka na, for example, sweet girl ka, kilala ka na respectful ka, kilala ka na good ka in public speaking kasi they've known you for so long, then nakikita nila na sobrang galing mo magsalita, mula pa ng bata. Yun yung difference nilang dalawa. Third is perception. Perception, sabi dito, how individuals interpret information. So, pag-iisip, in Tagalog, kung paano natin iniisip yung mga bagay-bagay, yun yung perception. Once again, it is different from attitude and personality. It's a different term. Perception is how do we think of something or how do we think about something. Yun yung perception. Like for example, ang perception ko sa school ninyo ay meron silang magandang work culture dahil okay yung mga empleyado. Ayun ay opinion ko at iyon ay aking naisip. Yun yung na-interpret ko na information based on the things that I saw. So, my perception might be different from the perception of other people. Kasi iba rin naman nila ini-interpret yung information na nakukuha nila. Yan. And fourth one is the values and ethics, guiding principles and moral standards. So, in values and ethics, it can be or pwede natin siyang makuha from our family, from our friends. We can also get it from the environment that we belong with. Pwedeng because of the society that we lived in or even the religion that we belong. No, so marami pwedeng pagkuhanan ng values and ethics ng isang tao. At maaring what works for me or what are the values and ethics that has been instilled to me is different from yours. Iba kung pinalaki ng magulang, iba ka. Iba yung nakagisna namin sa religion, iba rin yung sa'yo. Iba yung moral standard sa akin, iba rin yung sa'yo. So, it's different based on the environment, based on the religion, based on the things that have been taught to us since we are a child. Kaya, iba-iba ang values and ethics ng mga tao. And once again, this four foundation of individual behavior is very much important to understand inside the organization because these things, itong apat na to, ay importanteng sangkap kung paano umakto ang tao sa isang trabaho. Kailangan mong alamin yung personality niya, malaman yung attitude niya, paano siya mag-isip, and paano na-instill yung values and ethics na meron siya sa loob. So, yun yung four foundation of individual behavior. Motivation in the workplace, there are three. So, I will discuss this further on the next lessons. No, meron tayong Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which deals with the physiological to self-actualization. Second is the Herzberg two-factor theory or the motivators and hygiene factors. Ito namang motivation in the workplace, ano ba yung mga bagay na nakakapagpagana sa mga tao sa loob ng negosyo. So, may tatlo daw na ways or may tatlong motivation na pampagana sa workplace. And the third thing is the McGregor's theory X and theory Y or the assumptions about workers' motivation. So, once again, I will discuss this further on the next discussions. Another thing about the introductory in human behavior organization is the group dynamics and teamwork. So just like what I've said earlier, it's very much important for the business to know how they will handle their people individually and as a team. Because nagtatrabaho nga po tayo hindi lang isa-isa sa loob ng negosyo, bagkus tayo ay isang pamilya, isang buo. Kaya importante na malaman din natin yung group dynamics and also yung teamwork. So it can be considered as formal versus informal groups. It can also be considered as Pacman's model or forming, storming, norming, and performing. Ito po ay mga paraan kung paano magugrupo. And the third one is the importance of collaboration and trust. So, since this is just an introduction, so all of the important concepts under this group dynamics and teamwork will be discussed on the succeeding lessons. The next thing that you should learn also about the introduction in HBO is the communication in organization. So, merong types ng communication which is verbal, non-verbal, and written. Barriers will be noise, language, and perception. And effective communication strategies are also considered as feedback, clarity, and active listening. So, in this communication in organization, bukod sa importante siya na dapat pinag-aaralan sa eskwelahan, mas importante siyang pinapractice kapag nagtatrabaho na. Because miscommunication inside the workplace cause toxicity. Nagkakos ng toxicity kapag hindi napapag-usapan ng maayos yung mga bagay-bagay. And there are several types ng communication. Pwede mong sabihin, pwede mong hindi sabihin, at pwede mong isulat. And those barriers, yung mga magkakos ng delays, pwedeng because of language, magkaiba kayo ng dialektong sinasalita, magkaiba kayo ng lengguaheng sinasabi, or kinagis ng salitain, pwede rin namang may ingay, or pwede magkaiba kayo ng perception. And then sa effective communication strategies, malalaman mo na okay ang communication ng isang organization if may feedback na nakukuha yung mga speakers from the listeners. Kung merong clarity, ibig sabihin kalinawan on the end of all the people, and also kung merong active listening or pakikinig ng maigi. Ayan. So, also, when we are dealing with human behavior organization, we will talk about leadership and power. So, in the leadership styles, there are 4 that we will talk about. The autocratic leadership style, democratic leadership style, transformational leadership style, and transactional leadership style. On the power types, meron tayong tinatawag na legitimate, reward, coercive, expert, and referent. And we will also differentiate leadership versus management. And including on the understanding human behavior in the organization, the decision making and problem solving is one of the essence. Also, bakit natin inaaral yung personality ng mga tao sa loob ng business. So, in decision making and problem solving, we can talk about individual versus group decision. We will also talk about rational decision making process, and also the common biases, which are the overconfidence, anchoring, and confirmation. In the conflict and negotiation, sources might be resource scarcity, personality clashes, unclear roles. In the styles, avoiding, accommodating, competing, collaborating, compromising, and negotiation basics, which are the preparation, communication, and resolution. So, yung mga naka-embed na concepts under, yung mga naka-bullet, pag-uusapan natin yan ng detail pa, kaya hindi ko pa siya masyadong ini-specify, but all I wanted for you is to understand that there are some things that might happen, even bad things might happen inside the organization, and how the organization will handle it based on the sources, based on the styles, and based on the negotiation basics na naka-specify dyan. So, iisa-isahin natin yan in the next discussions that we will be having. Okay, so another thing is the organizational culture and climate. So, mga anak, lagi yung tatandaan na maaaring iba ang behavior na meron ka sa bahay at iba sa trabaho. Maaaring iba ka sa mga kaibigan mo, iba yung trato mo sa mga kaibigan mo, iba rin yung trato mo sa mga katrabaho mo. Because those different circles also have different cultures. Also, they have different climates. So, ibig sabihin nun, it depends upon the people surrounded to you on how you will act. And in the organization, bukod sa importante siyang pag-aralan, no, kung paano ka o ano yung kultura ng isang business para malaman mo kung paano ka aakto bilang empleyado. Importante rin sa mga negosyo na malaman nila, sa mga leaders, sa mga boss, sa mga heads, importante rin na malaman nila kung ano ba yung hinuhubog nila na kultura sa mga empleyado para mas malaman nila na okay, we will be dealing about retention, we will be dealing about people's longevity, na kaya pala sila nagtatagal dito kasi ganito pala yung hinuhubog nating kultura, kaya pala sila laging umaalis, o bakit ang bilis-bilis magsawa ng mga empleyado dito kasi ganito pala yung culture na meron tayo. So baka kailangan nating baguhin, baka kailangan nating palitan, or maybe kailangan nating alisin yung mga bagay na nagiging reason kung bakit hindi nagtatagal yung mga tao sa loob ng business. No, so those things could be the culture, the shared values, beliefs, and norms. Climate, which is the employee's perception of the work environment, and third is the importance of a healthy organizational culture. Next thing is the organizational change and development. So we will be dealing about 3 organizational change and development. The change drivers or reason of changes inside the organization. Those are the technology, competition, and globalization. Sa development naman, there is a term called Lewin's model, the unfreeze, change, and refreeze. So, kagaya na sinabi ko kanina, meron tayong mga pagbabago na dapat mambaguhin. I-unfreeze, ibig sabihin, wag alisin. Change, kailangan palitan. Refreeze, baka naman nag-work na dati, tas nawala, baka mag-work ulit ngayon. We are talking about the cultures inside the organization. And third one is the resistance to change and how to manage it. So, gasgas na yung saying na change is inevitable. And it's true. You cannot control change. And as business, you should learn how to be resilient. Alam mo kung paano makakasurvive sa mga changes na nagbabago. Hindi lang sa changes ng technology, hindi lang sa changes ng competition at globalization, pati sa changes na meron ang mga tao dahil iba-iba ang nagiging behavior, attitude, personality, and perception ng bawat employees depending on the foundation that they belong with or the environment that they belong with. So, once again mga anak, this is just an introduction to human behavior in organization, and the summary of all of this. Organizational behavior helps understand how people behave at work. The key areas include motivation, communication, leadership, and culture, and it's vital for improving workplace effectiveness. So I hope you had a gist, naintindihan niyo yung whole picture ng discussion natin sa human behavior organization. And the detailed one and on the succeeding lessons, na pag-uusapan natin yung mga specifics ng concepts na nabanggit natin kanina. Ayun, so thank you so much for listening to this or for watching this discussion, and if you do have questions, you can ask me, message me on our class GC. And sabi dito, what questions do you have and how can understanding organizational behavior help you in your career? So, yun, kung meron kayong questions, you can raise it to me. Kung wala naman, thank you so much for listening to my quick discussion about this course. And I really do hope that you will enjoy this furthermore after the succeeding lessons. Ayan. Thank you and mag-iingat kayo na.